for the Elven Kings. Under the sky. 7 for the Dwarf Lords. In their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men, doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne. In the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, so Lord of the Rings, the series from Amazon Prime. We've got an announcement trailer, confirmed name, The Rings of Power, and a release date. We've also got a Jasper cameo, because of course, whenever he drops by, just to say hello, we've got to show him off, haven't we? So we're going to dive into it. There's some plot details that have been revealed, and just kind of recap some events. This is a show which, look, I love Lord of the Rings. Big fan of fantasy projects, and Tolkien essentially created fantasy. Now I know that's a pretty controversial take, I'm sure, but I don't think anyone poured as much sort of energy into it as he did, to the minutiae, the details of everything, being a language scholar or a language professor at the very least. So yeah, I had high hopes for this, and then we started learning more and more information about it, and slowly that went downhill. But let's dive into it, ladies and gents. So, this dropped late last night, for me anyway, late last night. Prime Video announces the Lord of the Rings show's official title, release date, and plot details, right? So on Wednesday, Amazon Studios finally announced the title for its upcoming Lord of the Rings show, The Rings of Power, which is pretty obvious in terms of what it's going to be covering. We knew it was going to be Second Age anyway, and sort of some rough details here and there. So Prime Video will be dropping the first episode of the show on Friday, September 2nd, 2022, and then they'll be following a weekly release schedule, similar to how they did with The Boys Season 2. They trialled that. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate weekly releases. It is quite nice to have something to look forward to, and it does eke the show out, and it also allows them time to then prep ready for the next one, which they are shooting in the UK. They moved production from New Zealand to the UK, probably due to New Zealand's sort of authoritarian measures anyway. So along with the new title and premiere date came an official description for the show, right? So Lord of the Rings, we've known, lots of people have known that it would be following the Second Age. We knew that. Now, we know exactly what it's going to be about because it's in the name. So it'll be about forging the Rings of Power and foreshadowing apparently an epic story that welds the major events of Tolkien's Second Age together. So it's basically the rise of Sauron and Numenor, following all those events, which are actually, if they pull it off, that'll be great. That'll be really interesting. So here's the actual quotations anyway. This is from showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. So this is the official press release. They say the Rings of Power unites all the major stories of Middle-earth's Second Age, the forging of the rings, the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, the epic tale of Numenor, and the last alliance of elves and men. Until now, audiences have only seen on screen the story of the One Ring, but before there was one, there were many, and we're excited to share the epic story of them all. Of them all. Hopefully that doesn't mean they're like individual stories of each ring, because that would get tiresome really quickly. And this is, I showed the video at the start of this video, I showed the intro trailer anyway, providing there hasn't been a copyright claim against it, because I don't know quite what Amazon's like with these things. They actually made all of this and they filmed that. I thought some of that was going to be visual effects, but they did a bang up job on it actually. So if we scroll down, you can see it here. They legitimately actually filmed it. I mean, that's cool. That is cool that they went there and did it. It's interesting that they put so much effort into it, but yeah, I mean, more for you, I guess. I mean, that shows some level of dedication at least. Now, the press release goes on to detail the story of how Amazon Studios crafted the title logo in an attempt to tout their love and care for the show, despite confirmed details and persistent rumours indicating that the series is already making radical changes to Tolkien's story and world, which is a bit of a shame, in fairness, that that's, what this series is plagued by, even prior to release. According to Amazon, just as so many elements of the show itself were handcrafted, Prime Video chose to physically forge the title in a blacksmith foundry, pouring fiery molten metal into hand-carved wooden ravines shaped to the letter forms. Which, look, I do think that is badass. Like, there's nothing no one's going to tell me that will convince me of otherwise. That is cool. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a good quality show, but that's still cool. Look, if they went to this much effort for this, hopefully the show they put a bit more effort in as well. Hopefully this is indicative of the effort, basically. Amazon captured the whole process in slow motion for a live-action video, which they are using as the official promo for the series, which you've already seen. They also noted the bespoke title treatment appears crafted in a silvery metal with lines of Elvish script inscribed along the crest of each letter form. So, we've seen this. Don't worry. It is cool. It is cool, right? It is cool. It's me being a bit of a geek. In the video, a character, which is played by Morfydd Clark, basically recites Tolkien's famous ring verse. This character, there's sort of speculation it's going to be Galadriel, because it does sound like Morfydd Clark, who this article notes played, his Dark Materials and the personal history of David Copperfield, but also she was in Saint Maud, which is a haunting film. I've got a review of that on my channel. Would highly recommend fans of any level of horror. To be fair, it's a very, very, very strange and sad, dour film, but still, I enjoyed it. And it sounds like her, and she has been cast as the character of Galadriel, and it would make sense, which is obviously previously played by Cate Blanchett in Peter Jackson's trilogy. Now, Amazon Studios' official announcement revealed many additional details regarding the show's plot. Yeah, so there we go, here's our plot details. It said it will take place thousands of years before The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and will begin in a time of relative peace, which makes sense, Second Age. And the show will follow a large ensemble cast of characters, both familiar and new, as they confront the long-feared re-emergence of evil to Middle-earth. Which is, the re-emergence would obviously go from, Sauron and his master, which I can't remember his name now. Presumably, this new evil will be Sauron, who will likely serve as the show's primary antagonist. Look, if they get anywhere close to this, like this design here, sick, great, love it. So the ensemble cast will include characters and settings from the darkest depths of the misty mountains to the majestic forests of the elf capital of Lindon, to the breathtaking island kingdom of Numenor, to the farthest reaches of the map. These kingdoms and characters will carve out legacies that live on long after they are gone. And this is obviously the 9 men that would become the Nazgul. So, yeah, what do you make of all of this, ladies and gents? Did you like the promo? Did you not? Are you concerned by a lot of the rumours? Let me know what you think down below. If you knew, the thing about Tolkien, it's interesting. Like, it's one of those things that's so very, very plainly and clearly fantasy, and yet it's plagued by this nonsense of comparing it to modern day stuff. And I just, it's tragic that that's where we go with our literature. You have such an expertly crafted show, very, very well made. Well, not show, sorry. Universe, world, books, literacy, and yet the comparison is like holding it to modern day standards and saying, well, these orcs represent this, and well, there's no there's not much diversity and all this. It's like, no, of course it's not, because it was supposed to represent England, right? That is literally, it was the Shires. It was built off of the UK. Tolkien being British, he based it all around England. So it's fascinating stuff, but yeah, it's such a shame that that's kind of where they go with it. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thanks so much. Take care.